Imagination, that is, the power to visualize vividly, is a rather an important mental tool in Tantra. Um, I think in our rational Western culture, sometimes imagination is downplayed as being mere fantasy. Um, and that is not what we're talking about in Tantra visualization or the imagination as it's understood in Tantra. What is imagined, what is visualized, is what is more real, more true than our ordinary perception of reality. Now, according to whom or what? Well, the visualizations in Tantra are given by the spiritual teacher, the guru, and typically come down through a tradition that may be partially or entirely oral, although there are certainly written tantras, but the way that they are applied today, certainly since the 12th century, has been through procedural manuals, though, that are based on original tantras but aren't themselves tantras. They are manuals created to facilitate the learning of the procedures. So, and where do these, imagining, these visualizations come from? They come from the deep realization of realized souls, of soul seers or saints, yogis, if you will, who have realized the truth that is also supported in the scriptures, that is, the Upanishads, the Gita, that states that there is one self that is all pervading. So that's the basis of the visualization. The visualization is based on a deep realization of a realized persons, recorded in scriptures, passed down by gurus from generation to generation. Now, there is an element of faith there, and that is you have to be willing to try the visualization to see if indeed they lead somewhere useful. Swami Turiyananda, who was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, a monastic disciple, used to say that imagination becomes realization. Now, you can misunderstand that very easily and think, oh, well, of course you're going to just imagine, you're just going to realize what you imagine. You're just fooling yourself. Not a bad objection. It just happens not to be true. As my own teacher said, when you realize what is behind the visualization, it's never quite what you imagined. It's beyond anything that you could imagine. And that's a very convincing experience. You imagine it one way, and imagination then is acting like a tool to turn your mind toward a certain object. And the metaphor I've used, and I love to use about this, that I'm sure that I got from somewhere, from one of my gurus, the reading that I've done, the study I've done, is the metaphor of the faint star in the sky that cannot be seen, directly with the naked eye. However, if somebody tells you, an astronomer, let's say, tells you, look at that big star right there, it's at the top of your vision in the sky. Got that? Okay, good. Now, look over just a little bit to the right, and then you'll see that faint star. And through that process of first directing your attention in the right quadrant of the sky and the right part of the sky, you're able to then, with a slight adjustment, see what you couldn't see before. And that's the way imagination works. What you imagine isn't quite exactly what it is you're going to realize, but it reorients your mind, your direction, it directs your attention in the right direction, in the right place within, so that with a little adjustment, with a refinement of your technique and understanding, that which is always there, but which is too subtle to be seen directly, is revealed. And that is how imagination is used in Tantra. We talked about purification. So in the process of sprinkling these holy waters, or even creating the holy waters, it's very important that you imagine it exactly as it's described, to evoking the presence of these goddesses and all of this, because when you really put yourself into it, it deeply affects your mind and your understanding. And through this process, your understanding becomes more refined, and you're able to see things, experience things directly that you